In the heart of a sprawling ancient forest, a traveler named Alara walked alone. For months she had journeyed, not towards a destination, but away from a past shrouded in silence and sorrow. Her heart felt as heavy as the pack on her back, each step a reminder of the emptiness that echoed within her. The world around her was vibrant with life. Birds sang, leaves rustled, the sun dappled through the canopy, but Alara felt disconnected, a ghost passing through a world she no longer belonged to. One afternoon, weary and parched, she heard a gentle, persistent murmur. Following the sound, she pushed through a thicket of ferns and found herself on the bank of a river. It wasn't a mighty, roaring torrent, but a clear, serene stream that flowed with a quiet confidence. Its water, pure and inviting, shimmered over a bed of smooth, colorful stones. Kneeling down, Alara cupped her hands and drank. The water was crisp and cool, a balm to her dry throat, but it was the river's sound that truly captivated her. It wasn't just the gurgle of water over rocks. It felt like a whisper, a language just beyond her understanding. She decided to make her camp there for the night. As dusk settled, painting the sky in hues of lavender and gold, the river's whisper seemed to grow clearer. "Why so heavy, traveler?" it seemed to murmur. Alara, startled, looked around. There was no one. It must have been the wind, she thought, or her own exhausted mind playing tricks. She lay down, but sleep wouldn't come. The whisper continued, a soft, rhythmic current of sound. "Let go of what you carry." Alara sat up, her heart pounding. She found herself speaking to the water, her voice raspy from disuse. "I can't," she confessed. "It's all I have left." She spoke of her lost love, the dreams that had turned to dust, the friendships that had faded like old photographs. She poured out the grief and regret she had bottled up for so long, her words mingling with the river's constant flow. The river didn't offer advice or judgment. It just listened, its gentle current a steady, comforting presence in the twilight. The next day, Alara didn't leave, and the day after that. She spent her time by the river, learning its rhythms. She watched how it navigated obstacles, how it flowed around large boulders without struggle, how it gently wore down sharp edges over time, how it carried fallen leaves and twigs along on their new journey downstream. The river never fought its path. It simply adapted, always moving forward. One morning, the river whispered, "Look at what I hold." Alara peered into the clear water. She saw her own reflection, but it was fractured and wavering. Beneath the surface, she saw the smooth, rounded stones. They were all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Some were dark and plain, others streaked with brilliant quartz. The river seemed to tell her, "These stones were once sharp fragments, broken from the mountains. I did not break them further. I simply held them, and my current softened their edges. They are still stones, but they are no longer sharp. They are whole." Alara understood. Her grief, her regrets, they were the sharp fragments inside her. She had been trying to fight them, to crush them, to pretend they weren't there. But the river taught her a different way. It taught her to hold her sorrows gently, to let the current of life soften their sharp edges without trying to erase them completely. They were a part of her story, just as the stones were part of the riverbed. Inspired, she picked up a sharp-edged piece of slate from the bank. "This is my anger," she said, and placed it in the gentle current. She found a jagged piece of granite. "This is my regret." It too joined the slate in the water. She wasn't getting rid of her feelings. She was entrusting them to the flow, allowing them to be softened over time. She spent days doing this, not with frantic despair, but with a quiet, mindful intention. As she did, she started to notice the world again. She saw the determined way a spider mended its web after a morning rain. She heard the harmony in the bird's dawn chorus. She felt the warmth of the sun on her skin not as an intrusion, but as a welcome embrace. The emptiness inside her was slowly being filled, not with noise or distraction, but with a profound sense of peace and connection. The river had taught her that loneliness wasn't about being alone, but about being disconnected from the flow of life itself. One day, Alara woke up and felt light. The constant ache in her chest had subsided to a gentle thrum, a memory rather than a raw wound. She looked at the river, its surface sparkling in the morning light. The whisper was still there, but now it sounded different. It wasn't just a murmur of comfort, it was a song of encouragement. "The journey is not over," it sang. "It is just beginning." She knew it was time to move on. As she packed her bag, which now felt considerably lighter, she knelt one last time by the water. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice clear and steady. She didn't need to shout. She knew the river could hear her. It had always been listening. Alara continued her journey, but she was no longer a traveler running from her past. She was a pilgrim, walking towards her future. She still carried her memories, but they were no longer sharp fragments threatening to tear her apart. They were smooth stones in the river of her soul, a beautiful, integral part of who she had become. And whenever she felt a flicker of the old sadness, she would close her eyes and listen, and in the quiet of her heart, she could still hear the gentle, knowing whisper of the river. Perhaps like Alara, we all have a river inside us, a current of strength and resilience we can turn to. Sometimes, all we need to do is stop, listen, and allow its gentle wisdom to soften our sharp edges and carry us forward. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more tales of reflection and discovery. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, may you find the quiet rivers in your own life.